We're reading the Chofetz Chaim on proper speech, day 87. Providing information. Unlike the shadchan matchmaker or advisor, a third party who is approached with specific questions about one of the parties is not offering advice. His primary concern, therefore, is not to sin of the misleading others. His main responsibility is to be honest and to refrain from speaking that which might constitute lashon hara. If asked whether the other party has a specific relevant shortcoming, it is certainly correct to tell the truth. For example, if one is asked about the person's character and is aware that he has uncontrollable temper, this must be told for a constructive purpose. Of course, the preconditions for relating such information are required, and second-hand information must be presented as such. Constructive intent is required, and one may relate only that which is accurate and necessary. If, however, one is approached for information that on an objective level is irrelevant but in the eyes of this party is important, one is faced with a dilemma. To provide the information is in effect as assisting the unjustified abrogation of a potentially successful shidduch. On the other hand, one does not have the right to mislead the party by way of false information. In doing so, decide the person's future for him without his knowledge. The Chofetz Chaim suggests that in such cases, one defer by saying, "I don't know." In summation, then, if for example an eligible young man is insistent that the woman he marries be at least 4 years younger than he, should never have failed an exam in elementary school, or comply with other stipulation of seemingly irrelevance, one who is asked concerning such matters should simply say, "I don't know." However, a shadchan may not suggest someone who does not meet these terms without first consulting a Rav. Study the laws. There is another meaning to the description of the art of silence, as in craft. One who seeks to become a craftsman must study and train until he has mastered the skills of a given craft. There is no other way to become a true expert at one's trade. With regard to speech, one might be inclined to think, why must I study the laws of Shmiras HaLashon in all their fine details? I will simply train myself to avoid conversation. That way I will surely not transgress. This is a mistake, for not always is silence desirable. In fact, there are even times when the halacha requires that one relate negative information about a given individual. Therefore, one must study and know well the laws of speech in all their details, so that he will truly master the art of silence. The sages were very exacting in stating which craft should one pursue in this world, for one might mistakenly think, "It has been my way for many years to be careful in avoiding forbidden speech. I have more experience in this craft than a real craftsman has in his particular expertise. Shmiras HaLashon is by now a second nature to me, and there is no longer any need for vigilance." To preclude this false notion, the sages state, which craft should man pursue in this world? To indicate that all man's days in this world he must be alert of the pitfalls of forbidden speech. Thanks, and we'll continue tomorrow.